Welcome to Cozy Cafe Chats. I'm Lena.
And I'm Aidan, and we are your co-hosts. Grab some coffee and join us for a philosophical and silly discussion of anything and everything.
So today... No, I didn't like that. That's what this entire podcast is going to be.
So today... No, never mind.
No.
Take 10. Take 100.
Take 100. Okay. Today, we are introducing ourselves and the podcast. So we wanted to start out just sharing what the hell this podcast is. Why am I listening to this? Good question, folks. So we really started this podcast mostly grown out of our friendship. So we met in college. We went to St. Mary's College of California.
Shout out to Moraga.
Moraga,
California.
Where only the best stuff happens. And we were in choir together, and that's how we met. And we instantly fell in love, and we have two children and a dog.
3 dogs. Oh. I forgot.
The 2 died.
I keep forgetting.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
And yeah, I don't know what else to say about
Yeah, so we have a very fun, interesting dynamic. We would say we're, in the cheesiest way possible, we're like 2 unique and different pieces to the puzzle. Because like we are very, very similar in a lot of ways. We're also very different. And so that's what creates this beautiful puzzle that's us.
Yes.
And so we're going to be kind of discussing topics through an anthropological and culturally relativistic lens. We'll get into that more later. Basically, we were both anthropology majors, so a lot of how we look at the world is through this lens, like looking at culture and how that affects like literally everything. So we'll get into it more, but that's kind of gonna be like a way we're gonna look at things and discuss things, and that's also just like something that's bonded us, like our interest in and discussion of anthropology and those kind of related topics.
Amen. And another piece of this podcast, it's called Cozy Cafe Chats for a reason. If this bus is in the background of this audio, I'm going to lose my fucking mind.
Fuck off.
These buses, we need to do something about it.
Yeah, they're very inconsiderate.
Biden needs to address the bus problem immediately.
Yeah, come on, Biden. Prioritize.
Okay. So we love coffee and talking shit while we drink coffee. And so we thought that would be a fun way to set up this podcast, to have some coffee with us and talk shit.
Yeah, absolutely. And we really want to recreate the coffee shop experience, which I know can be different for each person, but we both really love and have like always loved going to coffee shops in different settings, you know, like going to hang out and talk for hours. And especially like with the pandemic, for a while, like we couldn't go to coffee shops, like that was not a thing, which I think helped us appreciate it more and also want to recreate that like in our own homes and other settings. So like we want, whether or not you can and are going to a coffee shop or not, it's like we want to kind of like warm, cozy vibes that you can get from being at a coffee shop and the sort of discussions and conversations that I know a lot of us have in those settings. So we're going to try to set the stage with like that kind of energy.
Well said.
Thanks.
Do you want to go to our first segment?
Yeah. One of our first segments is what are we drinking? So it would only be fitting to actually be drinking a coffee as we have this podcast. So I'll start off. I am drinking, or rather finishing, because it's like almost gone, a cold brew. We're in Jersey City right now where Lena lives, and I'm visiting. So from Snapdragon Cafe in Jersey City.
Yes, it is.
So yeah, I got a cold brew. Super good, super smooth. I love cold brew. I like to try it at all like different places I go and compare. Put a splash of oat milk in, and it was delicious, strong the way I like it. And I have about like half an inch left, so I'm gonna probably finish that.
I like how you measure your liquids in.
I don't know why.
by a ruler.
Well, that's like way less than
That's
a cup.
a couple like droplets.
Like a couple droplets. We'll
best.
pretend it's full.
We'll pretend it's full. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
We're caffeinated.
Mm-hmm.
I am also drinking something from Snapdragon, and I am drinking a Vietnamese iced coffee, and it is delicious. And I have more than Aidan has, who just finished her drink and slammed it on the table.
And fun fact, Lena like can never finish drinks. But I think you're getting better.
I'm getting better at it. I'm trying.
Yeah.
I know. I have my eyes are bigger than my stomach,
I guess. And we will, like we mentioned Snapdragon, we're gonna try to kind of highlight and give a shout out to the different places where we get this coffee. Because we are gonna be largely going to local coffee shops. Because support local businesses, all that good stuff.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So I think next we're gonna like share who the fuck we are. Like, why are you listening to this?
Are we really that interesting? Questionable. We think we're so interesting.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's the human condition, right? Fascination with yourself.
Yup.
So my name's Lena. I hated that. I hate you doing that.
Lena.
I am 25. I'm about to turn 26. I am from Long Beach, California, currently living in Jersey City. I come from a family that is multiracial. I am white, Tongan, which is Pacific Islander, and Mexican. And two of my grandparents are immigrants, one from Tonga and one from Mexico. And I grew up in the beautiful Orange County, the whitest of the white, which definitely has impacted a lot of my experiences. I'm also, like, I look pretty white, and so that's influenced, like, my racial and, like, cultural kind of experiences growing up in that area. We went to school in the Bay Area, which is not in Southern California, which is where Long Beach is. And going there, and then having come out here to New Jersey, it's been really interesting to see how, like, all of these various identities have kind of shifted and played out in specific environments and, like, different contexts. I put the bi and non-binary, that's what I like to say. So I'm non-binary, any pronouns are fine, and I am bi.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Is there anything else I want to say? I'm a bitch.
Most importantly,
my main identity is being that bitch.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't understand, then I'm sorry, but you're just probably not that bitch.
This is not the
this
podcast
is not the space for you.
Just kidding. It's a space for
everybody.
But you really should get it.
Yeah.
So.
Come on, work on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's you.
That's me.
In a nutshell.
What's up?
So, yeah. I'm also multiracial. Kind of finding the term that fits me the best, but I would say biracial, multiracial. I'm Cuban American, so of Spanish descent, but fuck colonialism. So, yeah.
Wait, did you want to say your name? I just realized you never said your name.
So my name is Aidan Munoz Christian. Middle name is Karina. I don't know why I said it that way, but I identify as Cuban American, also multiracial, multi-ethnic, biracial. All of those terms fit me. Latina as well. So I, like Lena, so I'm half white, and I have a lot of white privilege because I'm very white passing. I guess ethnically ambiguous, but yeah, my Cuban American identity is really important to me, and I like to say Cuban American because, like, I do feel like I have a hyphenated identity in a lot of ways. So I was born in Maryland, Silver Spring, Maryland, super random. My parents were living there and working at the time, but I've grown up in California, so lived in a couple places before I was 5 years old, but then since then, I was raised in San Luis Obispo, California, Central Coast, 805.
Don't know what that means.
Yeah,
I'm just
it's the area code.
typing it. Oh, okay. Yeah.
And also like a beer.
Oh yeah,
Firestone Walker.
Firestone Walker. That's
People
true.
don't realize it's because
Is it from there?
Mm-hmm. It's
Oh, I
from
didn't know
Paso,
that.
which is like just a little north of Slow.
Oh.
Yeah, people don't realize that, but it's everywhere. And so,
It's good.
Yeah, it is really good. But yeah, so also a very white area. Like, so, like, Lena's experience, that definitely shaped me in a lot of ways. So my dad is Cuban, like, full-on Cuban, and my mom is white, full-on white. So that's where my hybrid identity comes from. I identify as a woman. My pronouns are she, her. And I'm 24 going on 25. Lena and I have birthdays just a few weeks apart, a year apart.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I identify as demisexual. I'm sure I'll talk about that more. If you don't know it, look it up. But, I forgot to mention, I did grow up in SLO, but, I also went to school at St. Mary's, as we mentioned, in the Bay Area. And I currently live in the Bay Area, the East Bay. So I live in Pleasant Hill, which is a small town in the East Bay. A lot of people don't know where that is. Just east of Oakland. You know where Walnut Creek is, bougie-ass area. But I love the Bay Area a lot. I love SLO too, but the Bay Area is more a place for me at this point in my life. And as we mentioned, I'm visiting Lena right now here on the East Coast, which is super friggin' fun. So
It's been awesome.
It's been great. I would also say I'm neurodivergent. Like, in a lot of ways going along with the passing aspect of my identities, like, neurotypical passing, but have several mental health issues I've dealt with. So mental health is definitely, like, a conversation we have a lot. We talk a lot about mental health.
We have the conversation of mental health.
But we discuss mental health a lot. We're both either in or going to probably go into the mental health profession.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we've grappled with mental health
mental
health
we have
issues.
grappled with mental health issues. I don't even know what accent that is. I'm sorry to whoever I just offended.
And I definitely, like, very much more stable than I was several years ago, but that is definitely a part of my life and identity. We love stability.
We love to see stability and
yeah.
growth.
Yeah.
That's #relatable. Yeah, that's something I actually thought to mention. I wanted to say about myself that I am a singer and a dancer and, like, working on music right now.
Yes.
And I am also, I just graduated with a master's in mental health counseling. So I'm going into the field of counseling and therapy. And that's definitely something that will come up, I'm sure, a ton as we talk about it. And I know that Aidan is also very psychologically minded and, like, working towards being in the field in the way that she wants to herself.
Yes. I also am a dancer. I'm just kidding. That's a joke. If you knew me, you would know that's a joke. I appreciate dance. I like to learn. Unfortunately, like, my Cuban heritage did not help me in that regard. But I am a singer. I mean, that's how Lena and I met in choir at St. Mary's. I love music in all respects. I know I don't make music as much as I would like to, but it's always a part of my life and around me. Most important identity, barista. Not most important, but that is what I do right now. Yeah. As well as being a Spanish interpreter, which I will talk about more too. But that's definitely, language has always been a big part of my life. Like, I'm bilingual and learning other languages, but can't say I'm trilingual. So I grew up speaking Spanish and English. And that has definitely also influenced my worldview. I minored in Spanish as well, and was able to, like, study abroad, so that's definitely a part of my experience. And like Lena said, I am planning to go into the mental health field, ideally as a therapist counselor. In California, it's MFT, marriage and family therapist, which seems like such an outdated title, but that's another conversation. I have not started grad school yet, so I'm still in that, like, working after undergrad, figuring out my life type of time. Fitness, exercise, like, that's a really big part of my life, has been for a while. Just spending time outdoors, like hiking.
I also love hiking and going outdoors.
That's a lot. See, this is one of those great examples of, like, where we are a little different.
Just a little
Just
bit.
a tad.
Just a little bit. I would rather eat nails than go on a hike.
Just terrible. terrible. And I would rather hike than do most things. Well, depends on the time. Right now, it's fucking hot. I would not want to do anything but sit here in the AC.
We are in a heat wave in Jersey right now. It is, we're filming this. We're not filming this. It's like June 29th. I don't know.
It's like
you know that. But like the point is that it's hot as shit outside and it's absolutely miserable. So if you hear the AC in the background,
it's because the AC is
sucks
on.
to suck, but the AC is going. Okay?
It's necessary, yeah. But yeah, so those are kind of important things about us. I think I would say we're both scholars in our own way.
Yes.
Reading, writing, huge part of my life. Your life too, probably. Yeah.
Yes. What was that supposed to mean?
Uh-oh. And most importantly, Dimby bitch. So that's my role or my title.
What is even the story of Dimby bitch?
I don't know.
I'm like trying to think of how to explain it. Like in the notes app, we have this like podcast planning note that we've been making for a long time. We are just now starting this podcast. And we wrote out like all of these like talking points basically. And when we were doing that, somehow dim B bitch, like dim space B space bitch came up. And I think maybe we were trying to write dumb bitch.
Yeah.
And then dim B bitch. Which like
stuck.
Doesn't that relate though? Like who isn't a dim B bitch at times?
It's so true. Everybody's been there.
We've all been
Some
there.
more than others.
Some more than others, and I think both of us.
Both of us quite a bit.
Way more than others, but it's fine.
Yes.
So, we're going to talk about our journeys with coffee.
Mm-hmm.
So, I personally started drinking coffee in middle school. And I like, don't get me wrong. It wasn't like I was drinking black coffee in middle school. I was drinking like, frou-free, like, I don't know what else to call them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like frappuccinos and stuff like that. But I would have like actual like caffeine. But I liked it from a young age. And I saw my dad, who definitely has a not caffeine addiction but drinks a shit ton of coffee, drinking lots of coffee, and I always thought that was cool. So I was very interested in drinking coffee on my own. I feel like I could be like a grown-up if I drank coffee, and since then I drink coffee pretty consistently. I love coffee. I drink a little less now because I'm slowly marching towards death.
Because we know that once you hit 25, it's all down.
Right. Exactly. Like my body is decaying. It's fine. And so I need to be a little more careful with it. But I drink coffee all the time. And I think like what's my favorite drink? I mean, honestly, I really love like a cold brew with like either like some oat milk or like I love condensed milk and stuff. And then I also love strong but like flavored lattes with like extra shots. I always think that's really good. I love espresso drinks. My go-to is Dunkin' because I live on the East Coast and there's a Dunkin' literally every 2 steps. And let's be honest, they are superior to Starbucks. People can fight me about it. And I think we wanted to talk about like best coffee we've ever had.
Yes.
I'm trying to think about it, and I don't know. I mean, I've had a lot of good coffee. I honestly do think that some of the best coffee, like the beans themselves that I've had, you're gonna love this, is from Phil's. Like I do think that, which Aidan will talk about a bunch more, I'm sure. Yeah, their beans particularly are like some of the best beans that I've had, and then I've had really, really great drinks at quite a few different coffee shops here on the East Coast that I'm sure I'll be drinking coffee from throughout the podcast and talk more about.
Yeah, great stuff. So yeah,
thanks.
Yeah, I knew you needed that affirmation.
Yeah.
So my coffee journey is actually a little different because I actually, funnily enough, I used to hate coffee. So I've always loved the smell of it. Coffee is a very integral aspect of Cuban culture, so it was always around me. My dad has been drinking coffee like literally since he was a baby. Like mothers in the 60s or whatever would 50s, 60s would give their babies milk and coffee. So like that just kind of sets the stage. So culturally it was very much a thing, but I hated the taste. I couldn't stand it. My younger sister has always liked it, which is funny, but my mom, who, as I have failed to mention earlier, is half Canadian of Scottish descent, so that's also part of my heritage, which is pretty fun. Very white, though. But she's always, she's never liked coffee, so I always just kind of thought, that's me. Like, I'm gonna be like her. Well, that changed. What's interesting is, like, I always liked coffee shop culture, and I've always been a big tea drinker. And in college, I started, like, trying coffee drinks, but it was, like, I never had a, like, caffeine coffee dependence. I would drink tea a lot, and that was, like, what woke me up. But that definitely changed. After graduating, I was like, this is the time when I'm gonna just do random shit. I need to work. Like, slapping my leg.
Your leg.
I don't know why. So I got a job at Phil's Coffee in Walnut Creek, which is really near where I live. And it's been really great. You know, it's interesting because Phil's is like, it started as a small local coffee shop in the Mission District in SF, San Francisco, if you didn't know. But it's expanded. There's like 50-something locations.
Oh, wow.
So it's becoming a bigger chain, which, you know, capitalism has its drawbacks. But it's still, like, overall, I can say it's been a really great experience working there. So upon beginning to work there in fall of 2019, I very quickly became pretty obsessed with coffee, to be honest. Like, it was kind of like I went, like, all my life without drinking this. It's like I cannot get enough of it. Like, definitely developed a dependence. And, like, I drink a little less now than I have at times, but really that's still, like, every day I drink coffee. And I love it. I love the taste. I try to avoid sugar, and so I've come to really enjoy the taste of coffee on its own, which is fun. Not quite at, like, drinking black coffee, but I do love cold brew as well. Love that oat milk. I'm also, like, mostly plant-based, so it's really awesome. There's so many non-dairy alternatives that are, like, super good in coffee. I do love pour over. Like, at Phil's, all we do is pour over, so that got me into, like, actually the flavor of, like, the coffee blends, the beans. So I love a good, like, iced coffee, like pour over iced coffee, also with oat milk. I love cinnamon in coffee. And then, like, when I want my espresso fix and I want hot coffee, I prefer iced, but I will have a cappuccino. I love, like, a strong cappuccino, nice and foamy. If I'm gonna get espresso, honestly, like, I would say my favorite chain is probably Pete's. Like, I think Pete's is great. I get my espresso fix there. There's also, like, a Pete's, like, right by where I live, so that's really easy.
We love someone who checks their phone mid-talking on
okay,
the podcast.
I was looking to see if I missed any notes, okay?
Sure, you checked your notifications.
My dad texted us. My dad, my coffee, I don't know, what a loving father.
Yeah.
Which is cute, because now we, like, share coffee and stuff, and whenever I'm home and slow, like, he always makes coffee. My sister has an espresso machine, so the three of us share coffee, and then our mom's like, I have my iced tea, which I love too. Anyway, so the best coffee drink I've had, like, that is really difficult, but I can tell you why this is the best one. So I had the opportunity to go to Cuba a few years ago. I've only been once. I want to go back. I went with my mom, who's not Cuban, but she is a Spanish professor. That's side note. But we went together after I graduated high school, and coffee, like I said, is very big in Cuba, and so we went to this little kind of farm area where they grew coffee beans and made and served coffee. I did not like coffee at the time, but I was like, I guess I have to try it. So there was, like, this, I don't even know what it was called, or if there even is, like, a quote-unquote, like, US or American equivalent to it, but it was like a mocha drink, but, like, very strong coffee with, like, chocolate. And my mom and I both liked it, and that's saying a lot, because, like, she genuinely doesn't like coffee. And so that just stands out to me, because it was, like, really good coffee. And I've had many other good drinks in my life, like a lot of different great, like, local coffee shops. But that stands out to me, definitely.
I just want to point out that Aidan and I are sitting currently on a very small couch in my apartment, and she's doing these hand motions that are getting all up in my face. The entire time she's been talking, she's been, like, shoving her hands.
We speak with our hands up in here.
Apparently, the couch is very small.
It is.
And for some reason, she continues to inch towards me.
And whose fault is that?
Whose fault is? You're the one who's moving.
Whose fault is this small couch?
Oh, the small couch. I'm sorry. Are you going to fund me getting a bigger couch? And also, are you going to carry it up those goddamn stairs?
Of course. Thank you so much for listening. That was our first episode of Cozy Cafe Chats. we're going to try to get our next episode out to you in 2 weeks. We're going to have these ideally come out every 2 weeks, but realistically, it may be a month. So that is kind of the tentative plan as of now.
And if you like what you heard, which you should have if you have taste, then go ahead and subscribe to the podcast on whatever platform you're listening on. You can also follow us on social media, both Instagram and Twitter. The name is at Cozy Cafe Chats, like the name of the podcast. And if you want to talk to us because you're lonely and you need some friends, or you want to vent about something that bitch did today, then send us an email at cozycafechats@gmail.com. See you next time.
That was great. So I was looking over our shared note about this podcast.
About this podcast.
That we mentioned. And we were writing about the intro part, like, hi, I'm Aidan. I was looking at Lena's, which was supposed to say, hi, I'm Lena. But I just read, hi, I'm alone. Like, what the fuck? Apparently it auto-corrected Lena to alone.
So yeah, if you hear me talking about being alone, don't be shocked. Because apparently my phone is trying to tell me something.
Alone, aka Lena, or Lena, aka alone, whichever you prefer. I'm Aidan.
And I'm Lena.
And you're watching Disney Channel.